have a question I want to ask. Why is it that African youths always rejoice whenever there is a military coup in Africa? Why is it that African youths always rejoice whenever there is a military coup in Africa? Look at the report on Ivory Coast. Look at how people are rejoicing. Look at how Africans are supporting Ibrahim Traore. It is ironical that we know that democracy is better than any military dictatorship. We know. But it's ironical that African youths prefer military dictatorship to democracy. Why? The politicians, the leaders, African leaders and politicians, they know the answer. They know the real reasons why African youths are tired of democracy and they want dictatorship of the military. It is because democracy is a tool used by the imperialists to colonize them. I'm telling you, democracy has not yielded its fruit. It has not brought good governance to the people. Instead, people are more hopeless under democracy. Take Nigeria, for example. The military has carried out many projects than the civilian regime. The project the military constructed within a space of time, short space of time, is much more than what civilians have been bragging. Tomorrow, next tomorrow, we are building this. The government is on this. The government is on that. We are doing better economically under the military than when we have democracy. So if you look at it critically, the people have been suffering more under democracy. That is why youths all over the world, whenever they hear that there is a military takeover, my brother, you see rejoicing, which is not supposed to be so. The military regime is not best form of governance. It's not the best form because you'll be gagged, you'll be limited. You understand? From doing your rights will be restricted by the military. It's just a one-way thing. But it seems the imperialists, the colonialists, the whites have found a way of using democracy to impoverish Africa. Somebody is complaining that Burkina Faso, a white man, I will read this tweet. A white man is complaining that Burkina Faso is selling itself cheap to Russia. Look at what he said. The Africans you claim want to control African resources are literally selling off those same resources to Russia through back channel deals, which starves these states of revenue which could otherwise be allocated to public service provision. These Oyibos now, they are advising Africa. Now, he says also, France have been exploitative in Africa. Russia is being exploitative in Africa. True Pan-Africanist leaders should be building bridges within continent and not allowing foreign powers to sow discord within it. He's advising us. When France was taking all they needed to take from these African countries, these Oyibo people did not come and tell you, advise you that, man, as we need Pan-African leaders. We should build bridges amongst ourselves as Africa. They saw that Burkina Faso don't give France quick notice, and they are seeking for the help of Russia. I said this before that look at how he plays. Burkina Faso alone cannot stand the heat from Russia. They need the heat from France. They need an alliance with Russia to be able. So Russia provided security for Ibrahim Traore. Yes, it provides their special men. So France has technology, US has technology. An ordinary African nation like Burkina Faso cannot stand France and US technology. If he has the guts to give France quick notice and they go, they know how they can manipulate their way in. I'll read something now for us to read. That's why it is very necessary for them to also align with the world power that will use their own technology, which will rival that of France. Now, France and co are saying that Russia is exploiting Africa. True Pan-Africanist leaders should be building bridges within continent and not allowing foreign powers to sow discord. I don't know if you understand. France was benefiting, but since France have been in that country, the country has never gone anywhere. They are making the country dry. Russia have natural resources. What does not Russia really need from Africa? Russia have all the natural resources. In fact, Russia sustained Europe with gas. Russia and Ukraine, they have mineral resources. Unlike France, the United States, that need Africa to survive. They need resources in Africa to survive. That is why US and France, they are very angry. They might want to do one or two things, but because this Burkina Faso guy has the backing of Russia, they might be handicapped in so many ways. So they are looking for, see, these imperialists will never rest because they survive on African resources. Look at Akpabio. He's saying that we should not export our raw materials anymore. We should turn it into finished goods. If they talk that one, maybe in eye don't open, Akpabio. In eye don't open to the reality, say, these guys are using us. Everybody go do all right last. Those people that are attacking Ibrahim Traore, if you're in Nigeria and you're attacking Ibrahim Traore, I believe there's propaganda in what Burkina Faso is doing. I believe so. But the APC, I see the APC attacking this guy. But when we talk about people that are supposed to advise Ibrahim Traore, APC does not have any moral right to advise Ibrahim Traore because APC, they get PhD for propaganda. Then get PhD. Go and visit the videos. The videos of APC attacking President Jonathan. And what all these their intellectuals came together to say about Jonathan. What the current people in power today said about Jonathan. You know that these guys have PhD in propaganda. So anybody who you see attacking Ibrahim Traore because of propaganda, just know that that person, let me not go to that area. I understand that you need propaganda. Mind you, this geopolitics, you need propaganda to be able to stand your ground at some certain point. Because the BBC and the French, whatever, and the United States, whatever, they will use their own propaganda to hit you. They will just say, they will just throw one news. For instance, the Biafra war. See headline, BBC headline, Igbo coup. Finish. Now that Igbo coup nice scatter Nigeria. BBC headline to the world, Igbo coup, giving the Igbo a bad name because they knew very well that the corruption then. So let me not even go to that Igbo coup of a thing. So if you see propaganda in Burkina Faso, the most important thing is for Burkina Faso to be free of France. It is not by force. They have the right to meet Russia. It is the right of their country and their leaders. Why is France angry? Why are they angry? That they are no more benefiting from Burkina Faso and want to find ways to eliminate the guy or whatever they are going to do to the guy using the whatever of United States. So this guy is his style. And France has been exploitative of Africa, we understand. When France was exploiting Africa, this Oyibo guy did not come and tell us, say, France, leave Africa, why are you exploiting them? They did not say anything. But when this Burkina Faso guy rose up and sent France packing, and France is not benefiting anything from Burkina Faso, he now say, Russia is being exploitive. Russia have mineral resources. What does Russia need from Africa? I'm asking this question. How many wars or terrorism has Russia sponsored in Africa? How many wars or terrorism that Russia has sponsored in Africa? France has killed more than 10 head of states. France, go do your research. How many coups did Russia sponsor in Africa? The question we're asking, these white people coming to whine us, they have been using our brain. They use the brain of our forefathers. They are still using our brain today. That's when I see an average Nigerian youth. An average Nigerian youth, the only thing he can offer to his society is bigotry. There's nothing else. He cannot contribute anything to society. All he can contribute is bigotry because he's been brainwashed. These imperialists, they will make sure that you fight yourself, you destroy yourself so that you cannot find ways to better your environment. That is why Africa, what are the inventions that Africa have compared to other places in the world? What are the inventions? Nothing, because imperialists doesn't want you to grow beyond this level. They keep you. So how many coups did Russia sponsor in Africa? How many foolish puppet democracies did Russia install in Africa? The same Russia that this Oyibo is coming to whine everybody. You think the people coming up, they are wiser now. The only thing remaining is for us to be able to fortify ourselves, unite ourselves as Africans. Let me tell you, the best thing for Africa is for Africa to unite, irrespective of language, culture. We can protect our heritage, but the best thing is for Africa to unite. If Africa does not unite, these guys in the next 20, like the Fulanis, like I said, the Fulanis are consistent in what they do. These imperialists, they live off you. They cannot do without Africa. They cannot do without exploiting Africa. It's like we are their oxygen. That is why they will never ever stop. This is confirmed. They will never ever stop wanting to exploit Africa. Whatever they can do in the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, they will never stop. That's why we need to be awake. Build ourselves, build our technology, build our political power, build our... Let me read this. Now, if you don't understand what I'm saying, just understand that we have a bigger problem. That problem we have is beyond where we are today. We have a bigger problem. The problem we have is not really Yoruba, Igbo or whatsoever, because all those ones now myopic talk. The people, can you compete with the world? Okay, if you have Yoruba, let's say we have Yoruba nation, Igbo nation. You cannot live on an island. Like, you cannot live on an island. You need other people. You don't have everything. Some other persons have what you need. So you need to create alignment. You need to create alignment. But we have young people in Nigeria today that are busy hating themselves for no just reason. Look at a statement somebody sent to Davido. That Davido came out to say that I am Igbo by blood. Young people that have nothing to offer. Go to our schools today. Go to universities today. The best events, people are so energetic, so active in the events they do. It's street jam festival, music festival. Nothing creative. No inventions. Those that invent things that make, for instance now, you are sick. Nobody has invented malaria medicine. Don't you think that the person that invents that malaria medicine has saved a lot of lives? But you go to our schools now, brain drain, nothing. You are just going there to flex. You flex, you flex, you flex. You don't add anything to society. That's what the imperialists want. They want you to be useless. And we have so many useless Nigerians. We don't, when somebody is stupid, he's so loud and lousy. Somebody that has money, he will not make noise because money does not stay where there's noise. Someone that has knowledge does not make a lot of noise. Someone that has power does not make noise. Power, authority, they don't make noise. You see Tinubu going, he has power, they don't make noise. It is people that are empty that make noise. You see, they are so loud, so abusive. Nigerian youth, people are waking up. Look at what China is doing. Look at what other countries are doing too. They're in tech, in agriculture. These are old people, they don't fail us. The Obasanjo, the Tinubu generation, they don't fail us. There's nothing. There's no legacy they are leaving for us. So, all this generation, I've said this before, I'll repeat it again, so that you enter our medulla oblongata. Babangida was launching his book, whatever. And I said, I saw almost all the former heads of state here. Jonathan, Obasanjo and co. I said, all these people gather together. There's no legacy. It's not the legacy you speak English with, legacy in your family. As leaders in Nigeria, there's no legacy you left for the people. All of them, they have not fixed any sector of the society. They have not left power, and there's a continuation. And things begin to stabilize. It becomes worse and worse and worse. Look at our exchange rates. Look at the price of commodities. How they are going up. Expensive by the day. One administration will come, will blame the other administration. That's what, no legacy. And as a youth, they are passing hatred and bigotry to you. You collect that, wear them as agbada. When people have nothing, they believe they know something. They know nothing. My pastor had a phone he wants to repair. He has a phone he wants to repair. He went to Komta village where have these big guys. Agba this, Agba that. Engineers. They could not repair that phone because there are people that made that phone. The people that did that invention. They don't make noise over there. He took it to China and was able to fix it. Small children was able to fix the phone. That months upon months, they could not fix in Computer Village. And you see people coming out to make loud noise. If you are attacking Ibrahim Traore, he's doing something that is, if you like, let him embezzle. It is Burkina Faso. It is left for Burkina Faso. So far that we are very sure that France and co will stay off their business. The guy knows what he's going to do to hand over to a regime that is not corrupt. I'll read this. I read this before. I'll read it again. Look at the plan. Start by making sure that Africa never unites. Keep them divided along ethnic, tribe, religious lines. If they ever start working together, remind them of past grievances. Stoke old wounds. Yes. Fund separatist movement. Keep border disputes unresolved. Make sure every time they take one step forward, they are going to take 2 steps backward because they are busy fighting each other. Install leaders who serve foreign interests, not their people. Find the most corrupt, the most easily manipulated, the ones who crave wealth and status more than progress. Offer them power in exchange for loyalty. If a leader rises who care about Africa, get rid of them. Assassinate them if necessary. If it gets too messy, just destabilize their government and back a coup. If they talk about nationalizing resources, make an example out of them. If they try to unite Africa, take them out before the idea spreads. You should keep Africa economically weak by making sure it doesn't industrialize. It doesn't industrialize. You know, when governments come in Africa, they'll be looking for investors to come and bring their industry into Nigeria. There's nothing that we invent and we create as value to the world that we know say this car engine is being made from scratch in Nigeria. Not that we assemble, you bring engine from so you bring so part, you import so part, you can't couple them, assemble them. The day Africa will start making planes, black people, not Igbo, the day black people will start making planes, an African country that is all black will start making planes, aeroplane, that is when I will believe that we have taken a bold step. Now, you keep Africa economically weak, making sure it doesn't industrialize. Let them export raw materials, but never process them themselves. Control the mines, the oil fields, the rare earth materials. Look at our mines, oil fields, rare earth materials in Africa. Most of the companies that are in charge are foreign countries. Most of the companies in charge of taking our resources, most of them operating our resources in this Africa, most of them are foreign. Okay? Keep them selling cheap and buying expensive. That is what France was accused of doing in Burkina Faso. If a country tries to break free and build its own industries, sabotage it, place sanctions, destabilize its currency, fund local opposition, crash its economy. If that doesn't work, orchestrate a civil war. People can't build when they are too busy trying to survive. You make sure their education system produces workers and not innovators. Workers and not innovators. Teach them history that glorifies their oppressors. Make them think their cultures are primitive, their ancestors are savages, their future depends on foreign approval. Train them to memorize, not to think critically. This is one problem I have with Nigerian youth. Thinking critically. Keep their best and brightest looking overseas for opportunities. Make them dream of escaping Africa rather than fixing it. Offer scholarship and take their top minds to the West and never encourage them to return. Let the continent keep training doctors and engineers only for them to go and enrich other nations. Own their narratives, own the media, dictate their stories, dictate their image to the world, make them believe they are corrupt and hopeless. Make sure they remain dependent, drown them in debt, offer loans with impossible conditions, make them privatize everything so foreign corporations own their water, their electricity, their land. When they struggle, give them foreign aid to keep them alive, not to make themselves sufficient. Make them think foreign intervention is necessary. Make them think they can't solve their own problems, but always need help from outside. Serve them weapons to fight each other, but never let them build high-tech military technology. What Africa needs to do now is, they have the resources. They need to have industries. They need to have a leadership, a stable leadership that will help them build the economy and have industries. And also build high-tech military technology. That's when they can compete in the world. But since we have the involvement of these imperialists, hence we have the involvement of the UK, the British, France, and these powers that be US, we will never get to that level of Africa being industrialized. They find a way, they know a way of sabotaging the efforts to develop as Africa. We need to unite as Africa. I'm telling you, that's the best thing, wherever you are. But instead, they have been planting division left, right, center. Left, right, come to Nigeria, you see them. They have not achieved anything. What they achieve is PhD. PhD, somebody else's invention, somebody else's citation. Somebody brought this body of knowledge together. They thought about it, they brought it into life. They put it in a curriculum. You go and study somebody else's sweat. An electrician, before he became an electrician, you go and learn how to fix electricity that was invented by somebody. And you see that person will be bragging, I'm an electrician. See, make them to be slaves, not innovators. You only have people that will cram and they don't innovate. May God help Nigerians. May God help people to open their eyes and see the mess that we are in as a country. Because there's no how we should be choosing a military dictatorship regime over democracy. There's no how. If not for the bad leadership and the influence of these imperialists.